Hello YouTubers, this is Grant from the Geek Bubble, and today I'm going to talk about 5 bold predictions I have for what is going to happen in Marvel's Phase 3. For those of you who don't know, Marvel recently announced their Phase 3 slate of movies that consists of Captain America 3, Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Thor 3, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, The Inhumans, and the 2-part Avengers Infinity War. But before I give these predictions, spoiler warnings for the events of Phase 1 and 2. And without further ado, here are my 5 bold Phase 3 predictions. Number 5. The Hulk will be in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Over the last couple of months, there's been rumors that the Avengers 2 will end with the Hulk being shot off into space and lead into a Planet Hulk adaptation. And while I'm not sure if we'll see like a direct adaptation of Planet Hulk, just because it's all Hulk and no Bruce Banner, I believe we will see the Hulk join up with Guardians of the Galaxy and help lead him to Earth for the events of Avengers 3. One of the reasons I believe this is because out of all the sequels announced for Phase 3, Guardians was the only one to not have a subtitle announced with it. And I think if you had a subtitle like Planet Hulk, well, that would spoil the end of Age of Ultron. Also, Kevin Feige, or Feige, I'm sorry, I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce his name, announced that we will see the Hulk play a part in multiple films throughout Phase 3, but outside of Captain America Civil War, which they already confirmed Iron Man and Black Panther for, nothing on Marvel's slate would really make much sense for the Hulk to show up. Finally, during one of his interviews regarding the Galaxy, James Gunn talked about how they changed Drax's color from the comics to be more murkier and muddy in order to avoid comparisons to the Hulk. So all of this leads me to believe that we will see Bruce Banner in the next Guardians of the Galaxy movie. And just imagine how popular a team-up of the Hulk and the Guardians of the Galaxy could possibly be. Number 4. The Soul Gem will appear in Doctor Strange. As fans of the comics know, there are 6 Infinity Stones, or gems as they're called in the comics, that when united with the Infinity Gauntlet gives the wielder immense power. With Thanos lurking around and Avengers Infinity War in the future, I think it's safe to say that we'll see all 6 stones appear at some point by the time Phase 3 comes to an end. So far, we've seen the Reality Stone, Power Stone, Space Stone, and possibly the Mind Stone appear, leaving the Soul and the Time Stones left. I believe that we will see Doctor Strange come into contact with the Soul Gem for a couple reasons. For starters, in the comics, Doctor Strange was one of the owners of the Soul Gem at a certain point. Also, by casting a big name such as Benedict Cumberbatch, and I've listened to various interviews from Kevin Feige, it is apparent that Marvel Studios really wants to break into new territory with Doctor Strange and make him a household name not unlike Guardians of the Galaxy or Iron Man. Some reports even say they want Doctor Strange to be the new Tony Stark of the MCU. So what better way to bring him into the bigger conflict of the Marvel Cinematic Universe than having him deal with an Infinity Stone? The description of the stone also lends itself more to Doctor Strange than any other MCU film we've seen so far. The stone allows the user to steal, control, and manipulate souls, living or dead, and is a gateway into a universe much like heaven. By already acknowledging how Doctor Strange will show off a new side of the Marvel Universe, it makes sense that we will see the Soul Gem in this film. Number 3. Adam Warlock is Star-Lord's father. As people who watch Guardians of the Galaxy know, one of the biggest cliffhangers of the movie was that the audience was left wondering who Star-Lord's father was. All we know is that he was, according to Yondu, a jerk, and that he contained some superior DNA from an unknown race. James Gunn also has gone on record saying that Star-Lord's father in the films is different than who it was in the comics. Therefore, I believe that Star-Lord's father will be revealed to be none other than Adam Warlock, a being with advanced genetics who, in the comic, plays an important role in the fights against Thanos. We already saw an Adam Warlock shout out in not 1, but 2 Marvel movies. Also, having Adam Warlock, who in the comics was a member of the Guardians, be Star-Lord's father could give Star-Lord additional incentive to join the fight against Thanos and make his way to Earth for Avengers 3. Kevin Feige has gone on record saying that Star-Lord's father will be an important revelation in Guardians 2, and I believe this important revelation will be the introduction of one of Thanos' biggest foes. Number 2. Agent Phil Coulson will return to the movies as a superhero. There is perhaps no bigger face associated with the MCU for a while there than Agent Phil Coulson. His death, after all, was what inspired the Avengers to assemble in the first place. Therefore, it's definitely not out of the question for Coulson to return to the cinematic universe at some point in the future, especially with Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. having the low ratings that it has now. However, when Coulson comes back to the cinematic world, I have no doubt that he would not do so as a typical man in black, but more so as a superhero. One of the big moments of Season 1 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was that Coulson figured out he was revived from the dead using Kree blood. This treatment isn't too different from how Inhumans began, and with an Inhumans movie on the way, I think we should expect to see the familiar face of Phil Coulson join them. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has already been laying the groundwork for Inhumans in Season 2, and it wouldn't surprise me if Marvel put one of its most recognizable faces in a relatively unknown property in order to give it more publicity. However, no matter what happens to Agent Coulson, I think it's pretty safe to say that we'll never see him go back to being just a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent ever again. And lastly, number 1. Steve Rogers will die in Avengers Infinity War. Some people think that Steve Rogers will die in Cap 3 because of how the comic book storyline ended for Civil War, and Chris Evans' desire to be a director. However, I believe we will see Cap survive Civil War, because his theoretical replacement, the Winter Soldier, is still very far away in this universe from being a hero, and Chris Evans' contract is for 6 films, so he's only been in 5 after Civil War. However, I believe we will see him die in Avengers Infinity War for a couple of reasons. First, and the most obvious, is that Chris Evans' contract will be up after the movie, while Sebastian Stan, who plays the Winter Soldier, still said he had 3 more movies left. However, outside of just contract, I think there are other reasons why we won't see Steve Rogers survive the Avengers 3. First off, what greater sacrifice could be made in order to defeat Thanos than Captain America dying himself? I don't think it'd be surprising to assume that Cap might be disgraced at the end of Civil War, and having him sacrifice himself to defeat Thanos would also be an effective way to redeem his character as well. Up till now, the Marvel Universe has had little repercussions on its heroes, and having Cap perish would make that sense of loss and maybe a potential victory mean a lot more. Also, we all know that Captain America would definitely sacrifice his life for others, and I think the Avengers 3 will make him do just that. So thank you for listening to my 5 bold Phase 3 predictions. If you like what you saw, please subscribe to us and follow us on Twitter at thegeekbubble. Also, check out some of our other features on our channel as well. Finally, let us know in the comments what topic you want us to tackle next. Thank you, and until next time, YouTubers.